And J.R. Welsh, known as Jock, comes from a long line of Welsh family trialists, but no known Welsh ancestry, is just the name Welsh. But who knows, we might find a link during his time here in Wales. He started trialling in the 80s and been in the national and international teams around 21 times. As Jock now sends his dog out to the left. We're starting to see some runners send him out to the left. He's taken part in 4 world trials. Best placed is 6th position in Bala, so Wales is a good hunting ground for him, and it may be lucky for him again this year. Sonny's a good-natured and friendly, loyal dog. Half brother to Sonny is also trying for Brendan Smith, who's also in the Scottish team. So when you see dogs of this breed and it's coming through, and out he goes, and I think that camera angle there, Mike, just shows the distance that these dogs have got to go. It's a long way up there.
It is a very long way. I walked it myself, and it's very, very deceiving. As he stopped slightly short there, yeah, one little whistle there to put him round to 12 o'clock.
So, as we were saying earlier, he's just lifted his sheep. And that's the camera angle that shows you the distance up there. The sheep are a dot in the distance. And then he'll bring those sheep down. So the first leg of the fetch in, just down to those fetch gates. And it looks as if those sheep...
He's got them there now in the centre. Lost a couple of points there, but no great shakes.
No, so... As I said earlier, when you look at the quality of these runners now, we've got a lot of big names ahead of us later on today and tomorrow. And the end goal of them, of course, is just to qualify into that top 15 to run 15 in the Supreme on Sunday.
Dog's listening well.
Yeah, so looks like Jock has got these just about to come through the fetch gates.
Nice pace.
Looks like a very responsive dog that's taking the commands well off Jock. Jock, of course, has had a lot of very good dogs through the years.
Been in the team many times.
Yeah. Around 21, he said he couldn't quite remember how many, but we'll take 21 for a good start anyway.
Try not to upset them, so he gets a nice tight turn.
And there's just a slight incline there that they come up into the shedding ring. Jock's a very experienced handler. He's down on the floor, just preparing those sheep to just swing him round.
He's going to go for a tight one. Swinging his left arm out there in response to his own whistle. Most handlers don't know they do that. That's nice.
Good tight turn there from Jock Welsh. Of course, the judges might see it a little bit different from us. They see it from a different angle. They're looking from up in their high vantage point. What we see on the screen might not be necessarily what the judges are seeing, and that's why their points might slightly differ from ours. So he looks to be going up that first leg of the drive nice, so Mike.
Very, very nice. Dog with a bit of style. Trotting along. Keep those tails just bouncing up and down. If they go up and down, you're at a nice pace. If they start going round and round, look out.
I've never heard it put like that before, but you bang on when you see them swirling like helicopters in the distance.
Yeah.
The dog's got to do a bit of work to get around them.
of encouragement there from Jock. The dog knows he's got to turn at some time.
Good control on the dog there to stop him dead. A good turn now on to that cross drive.
Is he going to start putting a bit of pressure on? We don't want to see sheep grazing. That's better.
We were saying earlier, as the camera zooms out, there's a big distance between those two sets of drive gates.
Yes, when I walked it yesterday, I thought it was going to be tricky because it's not straight across the field either. It's slightly back at an angle.
And Paddy was saying earlier as well that you haven't got many markers. There's no thistles that you can pick out and.
Keeping them going. Walk on whistles all the time. Looks to be in a good line there. Heart will be in your mouth.
Yeah, just aiming for the middle of that gate, and it's not a case of line them up and hope for the best. It's you've got to make sure that you get them in there.
When one judge is in there and you're just losing one set of points, when you quadruple them, there's a big number to come off.
Yeah, and the way we are at the minute, I think every point is going to count because
scores are tight, aren't they?
Scores are tight, and there's a lot of good handlers. Four very, very good national teams in front of us for the next 3 days here at the International, so every point will count at the end of the day, I'd have thought.
Yes, I think it will, and with it being 2 days of trialling, you just hope for similar weather for both days to give everybody a good chance. I was speaking to one of the lads outside and said he was hoping for snow tomorrow for their runs, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think they see a lot of snow in Aberystwyth, to be perfectly honest with you. Especially with the sea as close as it is, just the other side of that retaining wall in the distance. So, Jock just settling his sheep now.
Years of experience. Scots will do a lot of shedding at all their trials, so it comes second nature to them.
So I suppose if you added up all the trials that Jock has ever been to, that's a lot of shedding.
Yes. Yes, I bet he could shed in his sleep. And of course, he's been a shepherd and farmer and worked with sheep all his life. And being so many Welsh brothers, they just talk about dogs and sheep at every mealtime. Whereas you and me talk about rugby.
Yeah, we won't touch that subject yet.
No sore point.
He's just taking his time, very experienced competitor, and you see these experienced handlers, they don't rush, they can't rush, they can't attempt. If they attempt, that's when they lose their points, so they just take their time, make sure that it's going to happen, and that's when they take the attempt. These Tregaron Welsh, the improved Welsh, on a whole, they're handling very well, Mike. They're good, strong ewes, and as you said, Irrell has been working them to make sure that they would run well at this international, and they are a credit to him.
And of course, there was a very competent sheepdog handler himself. Trying to get those red-collared ones out of the way. But They're just stitching themselves in. Here we go. He's got the two reds together, so he wants 200 sheep off.
As Paddy and I were saying this morning, this is what just chews through your time.
Yes.
Which puts the pressure on the rest of the run then. And so sheep just swing around again and just make it difficult for them. They're not making it easy, but in any imagination.
Dog through in desperation because the sheep will never forgive you when you go back to the pen.
Of course, we've got a ring. You can see a ring that's been cut with a mower around there with sawdust mounds all around it. So they've got to stay within that ring as well. So that you just got to be mindful. Bring him back into the middle of the pen a little bit more. Give himself a little bit more room.
Yes, that's correct, Hugh. You could soon take a good shed, but the sheep are outside the ring and the course director will be asking you to do it again.
I was just about to say Jock will be looking at his watch, but I don't think he's wearing one.
No. I think a lot of the older generation, which very nice, very nice. A lot of the older generation don't seem to take technology of big stopwatches on the wrist. That's it. The rule does say regroup the sheep before you proceed to the pen, which he's doing there now.
And I was asking Paddy earlier, are you judging how straight you take him to that pen mouth?
Yes, well, there's a big debate because a few of us took it to the national directors meeting saying that we wanted the sheep regrouped and put in the middle of the ring so the judges could judge everybody from the same place, but it was argued down saying it might not be practical at some internationals. So your 5 sheep might be regrouped in those trees behind the pen and you have to come from there. My argument was to have them in the middle of the ring, but look at this. Well done, Jock.
Made that look very, very easy.
And because he's not upset them in the shedding ring and been quiet, they've let him handle them close too.
Yeah, Paddy was saying earlier that these sheep, they'll almost forgive you if you're a little bit tight on them going into the pen because they will walk in. And now we come back for the single. So it'll be interesting to see how much time Jock has got left.
And remembering there's not the individual trophies at the end, there's a team shield as well. So every country will be trying to put the biggest scores up there to win that coveted team trophy.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody outside and they were asking would a standard be bought in, and we were told that no, a standard won't be bought in because of the team points.
That's correct. Stringing it out, he's going to take it on the nose. A bit risky when he's had quite a decent run. All that experience, he's not panicking.
No, and the dog's not getting wound up at all. The dog is still...
Ooh. Was very close to going outside the ring, but I think he just stopped them in time.
Well, the judges wouldn't have missed it if he did.
Not from the position they are looking.
I'd have thought he'd be a time thing or just start creeping into his mind now, possibly.
Yes. Super, they've called it. Well done, Jock.
Oh, another very good run there, Mike.
Yes, be interesting to see that score when it comes on the board.
It will, and as we said earlier, the quality of the judging of the runs that are being judged